All right, how's everybody going? Welcome to the very first installment of the COVID-19 live stream. It's going to be a heck of a day. There's some good people that are all going to be lined up here. So thanks. I'm glad that Perry was able to put this thing together and just get some good people on here. And hey, I mean, I don't think we're in a time that we all need to be panicking, doing all of this kind of stuff, but you know, it's just being aware and smart and all that. I don't want to get into all the political part of this and everything. This isn't what it's all about. So this is basically just going to be a fun event. I mean, Perry put this all together very quickly. I know that. So we all kind of jumped on board and all that. So with that being said, the first guest of this one, Perry, tell everybody a little bit about you and your podcast and everything.
Sure. Yeah. Well, first off, Scott, thanks for agreeing to do this. This was
thank you.
I was telling Scott before we went live that this was a kind of a 2-day pipe dream, thinking, you know, oh, maybe we'll be able to make this happen. And I kind of just started realizing that nobody had anything to watch or do or anywhere to go. And so I figured, you know, for at least the bourbon drinking community, we can all get together and chat and drink some bourbon and not have to worry about anything for at least a few hours. So I'm really happy that this came together in the way that it did, and I'm excited to see where everything else is going to go for the rest of the day too. Anyway, so my name's Perry. I am the host of This Is My Bourbon podcast. I think most people in here at least are aware of it. If you have not listened before, we have about 2.5 years worth of bourbon shows for you to go through.
Good stuff too. Good stuff.
Thank you, man. We started in 2017 with some crappy microphones that I hooked up to my laptop, and I slowly kind of evolved into what it is now, which is totally just superseded any expectations that I had when I first started the show and the channel and everything. We chat with people in the industry. We talk about the news that's been going on too. We do reviews, not every week, but fairly regularly. It's been a lot of fun. We've had some incredible guests on before. I get to go to things like Bourbon and Beyond and chat to not only bourbon people in the industry, but also musicians and, you know, chefs too, culinary figures, which is just so much fun. I can't say enough good things about the opportunities that I've had with the show. Met a lot of great people too, just content creator wise. Scott, of course, you have been a big supporter of me just from day one, and I really appreciate that, of course.
And that's the one thing I would say about your podcast. What I really liked about it early on was it was what a lot of us like to do: sit around with your buddies, have some good whiskey, talk shit, whatever it may be. And then, you know, you got a little bit of structure behind it. I mean, clearly you guys have got more structure now, of course, but it's still a lot of like, man, we're just sitting here. We're going to shoot this shit. We'll talk about some good things and just have a good time with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was kind of what we had started doing originally was, you know, we're having these conversations anyway around bourbon. Why not just make something of it? And the idea just kind of snowballed from there. And, you know, the face of it has really, really changed since the first episode came out in October of 2017. But the core of it is absolutely still there. We're still, you know, just friends who want to get together and talk about bourbon, talk about, you know, and not just bourbon. I mean, shoot, we spend plenty of time talking about our personal lives and what we enjoy, and, you know, music and movie and TV shows and books and whatever. It's just it's very much a you know, it's lifestyle just as much as it is bourbon.
Yeah, so. And it's fun. I mean, that really kind of lets people in on just other things. I mean, we don't always need to hear and talk about whiskey, bourbon, whatever it may be, but be able to hear other people's, you know, stories and things along those lines. I mean, while maybe drinking some whiskey or whatever, that's always fun and interesting to kind of get into. So.
Yeah, Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So what are you sipping on?
So I pulled out. I haven't had this one in a hot minute, but I love this bottle to death. It is one of the few Old Forester products that I have an affinity for. And funny enough, it's a dusty Old Forester. It's 86 proof. I believe it's from 1996. I'm pretty sure. Maybe 95. I don't know. Anyway, I love this. I love this bottle a lot. And,
was that the one you guys were? I know you just did like a blind or something, like somebody sent samples, but was that one of the ones that you guys like kind of tasted and had no idea was a wild turkey?
No. That was a 1985 wild turkey.
Okay.
That Kyle Gallegos had sent us a whole rash of samples. And it was a good time. Yeah, I couldn't believe that was a turkey. I mean, I think I said on the episode that I didn't even think it was a bourbon. I was like, this has got to be an Irish whiskey or a Scotch. But so we went from 120 to 125 proof bourbons all the way down to an 80 proofer. So it just was like, of course, it wasn't gonna smell or taste like anything. So it was very, very surprising.
That's
I'm just now realizing I look about half awake too. I've been awake since 7 a.m. I don't know why I still look like I just rolled out of bed.
That's just because you're getting old. So you're already starting the getting up early by natural. So that's the way it goes. I
don't want to get old, man. I'm only 26.
Yeah, well, just wait a few more years. It'll just keep getting earlier and earlier. So all right, let's see who we've got in the chat. So right now we got 32 in here. Let me go back to the beginning a little bit. I know we've had some good people in so far. So let's see. We've got Honest Charlie. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you day drinking along with us. Chad Holly, John Belushi. I'll never. That's always awesome to me. I love when I see John Belushi in there. There's just something about it. So
I love it. And
of course, there's this guy from This Is My Bourbon podcast. He's in here.
I wonder who that was.
Yeah, Will Henderson, Tony Mercury, Greg Fowler. Who else we got in here? Trev, how's it going? And here's another thing. I put a link in before, so if there's anybody who wants to jump in and talk whiskey and just whatever, I mean, we don't even have to talk about that. This is just going to be I think a fun day of live streams and whatever it is. So I think,
man. And go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, since you've got something old, I'm going to bust out this is just a 1970. Oh my God, I got to make sure I don't spill this all over myself. There's a good chance. There we go. It was either that or I was going to blow the cork out on this thing.
Punch yourself in the face.
Yeah, it was gonna happen. So this is a 1970 Jim Beam, and it was from one of those old like decanters. It has been lead tested, and I know that's one of the other things. It really seems like with the old ones that very few of these whiskeys ever test positive for lead. It seems like so.
Yeah, and I mean it kind of smells or tastes a little bit like what you would expect lead paint to taste like, but it's mostly fine.
Well,
you know what, the alcohol is going to kill it eventually.
Exactly. So. Well, and going back to when you guys did your podcast with the with that older bourbon, it's always, and I've talked about this on shows and live streams and stuff, but it's always really interesting to taste these old whiskeys and just the profile and how different they really are from like what we consider as modern day, bourbon. So
yeah, absolutely.
Man,
something I was gonna get at too. I'm not gonna stay on for the whole time because I know you've got other people who are gonna hop on here as well. That I mostly wanted to sit in for a few minutes just so I could kind of get this kicked off with you because I'm just excited for what the heck's gonna happen here over the next 8 hours.
Gonna be fun.
So. It's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. And like Perry said, if there's anybody out in the chat right now, I've dropped the link in there a couple times. If you want to jump on and we can talk whiskey, whatever, feel free to do so. That's perfectly fine. So
well, Scott,
all right, here we go. We got one more. We got Robert who's whoa.
Yeah, you're good.
We're good.
I had to cancel out the other YouTube.
You're live. All right.
So we didn't get so much feedback.
That's okay. I hit the button too soon. So Robert, how's it going?
It's going fine. I'm enjoying today. Nothing else is happening.
You're
Hey man, that's why we did this.
everybody in Kansas is surviving right now.
Yeah, we went to the store yesterday for our every 2 weeks we go grocery shopping. I guess we didn't jump on the panic wagon soon enough because it was crazy. I mean,
it hit big time yesterday. I think it was like right after work, people realized that they better get to the whole Armageddon and go from there. Hey, Chad, thanks for the $1.99 toilet paper super chat. I appreciate that.
The toilet paper fund.
Yeah, the toilet paper super chats. I appreciate that. Oh.
John Belushi asked, am I in Lexington or Richmond? I am in Lexington. I used to live in Richmond, actually.
I don't got nothing nearly as old or fancy as you guys. I'll have to.
Hey, man, that's still a great bottle.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You can't find it very often, but when you do, when I do, I buy it. I've got 2 left that are unopened.
So I went with a Dusty Beam as well, just because I figured I'd get on the train. This is a 1973 decanter.
Okay.
It was a Sad Clown. This came from my buddy Travis Gintz, also known as Cletus, if you've seen him around the Facebooks. But he had just about I'd say about that much of it left at Whiskey Weekend from the podcast guys, and he said, well, just take the rest of it with you. So that's what this is.
I was waiting for all these things to start coming. So Peter White says offering a case of Charmin for Pappy 15. There we go. No. I was just waiting. And I got to go back to Dusty Dan. He sent a super chat. I need shitter paper. Yeah. Oh, jeez. It's gonna be a long but fun day. So
it's gonna be a great day. I am so excited for this.
I'm glad you put a little something together. So this will be good. So
yeah, I'm happy that that this all worked out.
Yeah. Man, I love that old profile. And obviously we've got some people in here like Dusty Dan. I mean, he named his channel because of that. I mean, he had a lot of old whiskeys and stuff, and it's just that different funky profile. It's so completely different than anything that's produced nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. And whether or not that's just the changes in production, or maybe they just made it totally differently back then. It's hard to deny that old bourbon has a very, excuse me, my goodness, what is happening? My insides are trying to escape. Woo! But there's something about old bourbon that has a very, unique and distinct profile to it.
Well, and the other thing is don't always be fooled because it's old, it's good. Like we've all probably had some old, really shitty stuff. So
yeah. Oh yes, yes. There was a story. I think he might have told it on the podcast, but Dixon Dedman was saying that he once had a decanter. He was really excited about it. It was like an old Wild Turkey decanter. Could not wait. He got it for like a steal. He opened it up and it just smelled like straight mothballs. Yeah. You can get some really nasty ones at times. I mean, and a lot of times, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of beam ones that are bad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It also depends on where they're stored sometimes. My mother-in-law, they had a cupboard in the back of the house they bought, and they didn't really empty the house out. They had like 3 or 4 old whiskeys in there, an old Scotch, an old Crown Royal of all things, and I think there was even a gin, some Beefeater gin in there.
Wow!
And but they were all opened. They'd just been sitting in there for years. Well, the labels where they had bought them at actually had the price was like $9.99 was the most expensive thing that they bought, and they had kind of loose dates on them. They dated anywhere from about 1981 to about 1985. They all smelled like cardboard when you'd open them up.
Yeah.
They had that back of the cabinet cardboard, and I think over time you have a little bit that kind of just makes its way through the cap.
Yeah.
And just
Well, and I had that was similar. So I had a I think it was 1983. I don't even know where I put it. Oh, here it is. This was the Evan Williams. This was the 200th anniversary, and I think this is from 1983. And I was really afraid that this thing was going to taste really bad because it still had the tax stamp on it. And I don't know if you guys can see or not, but it I thought for sure that this thing had probably gotten so much air over time that it was going to be bad. But it was literally, when I drank it, it tasted like a liquid, like Werther's. It was so creamy and butterscotchy. I was really happy that it tasted like that and it wasn't like going to be all nasty and sour, which it could have easily been. So, all right, what else do we have here?
I have the
Swan's here. Hi, Swan.
I have this old George Dipple from 1976.
Oh,
okay. On the bottom of the decanter, it's got some. I don't think it's probably down to here now. Just gently shaking it, and I got a feeling it's probably not too good. Probably
that's the thing. You never know. I mean, that's the thing with a lot of these older decanters. I mean, there's really not a whole ton of value to them. So, I mean, if you've got them, just open them. I mean, maybe there's some value to them a little bit, but I mean, man, it's just like you may as well just crack them open and see what they taste like,
Yeah, but if it's the thing of it is, if it lets me down, I'm thinking, well,
I know. That's the tough. That's always the tough part,
Yeah. Like, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. It's not like I need it.
That's true. That's the other thing. It is one of those deals where I think probably between all of us, none of us need any more. So
no. I think that's funny too, because we're talking about all the the potential for quarantining here soon. Yeah. I mean, I've got plenty of whiskey to last me until I'm 50 at least.
Yeah.
So.
I would agree. So yeah, John Belushi says lead. So I don't know. On one of the live streams I did, I tested that 1970 decanter and it came back as nothing. So I'm fairly convinced that a lot of these things, for the most part, we're not really dealing with many of them, I think, that are contaminated with lead. So, and I think honestly, and I don't know, I guess you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't most of the lead from the paint part of it, which was on the outside, right?
Yeah, I think that's correct. But I mean, most of these decanters are ceramic, right? So you're not actually getting
hey, Kevin.
lead from that. You're getting it from the paint. Yeah.
Now we've got dueling podcasters here.
Oh
boy.
What up,
hey
Kevin?
guys?
Here we go.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, man.
Well, what are we all drinking? I know I saw.
I think we're all drinking. I think some Old Dusties right now. I think.
Oh yeah. I've got this 73 Beam.
I don't have many Old Dusties, but so it's 314 day here in St. Louis.
Oh yeah,
our area code is 314. So I went with the St. Louis product here.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
I might have to go out and get some Schlafly's later.
What's that?
Please do.
What's that?
Beer.
It's beer. It's one of my favorite beers in the entire world.
Is that something local or what?
It's
it's
St.
one
Louis,
of our. It's probably our first craft distillery we ever had.
We get it here in Kansas.
Here in St. Louis.
It shows up here in Kansas, so I've had it several times.
Well, guys, we are 20 minutes in, and I think I'm going to go ahead and hop off. But I hope you guys have a great rest of the stream. Scott, thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this, and
thank you
for including me. Yeah, for sure, man. This was I'm happy that everything came together so quickly. I'm going to be popping in and out of everybody else's streams throughout the day. So cheers, enjoy everything. Let's beat this daggum coronavirus by drinking high proof bourbon. So,
You got. Thanks for joining and thanks for putting this all together. This should
For
be
sure.
be a lot of fun.
for sure. All right, guys, take it easy. Cheers.
See you, Perry. Cheers to you.
See you, Perry.
And we're left with 3. So, all right. So, Kevin, I forgot what did you say you were drinking? Is it beer actually, or what?
So this is actually Mon and Bell, which is a straight bourbon. It's only 90 proof, so
Okay,
I'll have to step it up a little bit later. But
that's
yeah.
okay. All right, let's see who else we've got. What else we've got people drinking? So, what did Patrick say before here? Some of the older. Okay, yeah. So some of the older like ceramic or glass glaze are loaded with lead. So I've tested I think 3 total, and I haven't had anything come back with any lead in it so far. So thank God. I mean,
Was any of those the old Beam's Choice decanters? Did you test anything out of those?
though, yeah, 2 of them were. So one was from 1970. Another one was like a 1974 Beam. And then another outside of that, this one's more like a glass or I don't know, crystal or whatever. And I tested that one as well, and it came back negative as well.
My dad, he's drank them all, but when he was a supervisor and then eventually plant superintendent for a company, but they would get him the really nice Beam's Choice every year. The guys would in the plant, and they would always have the like cardinals drawn on all kinds of different things and different shapes on the decanters. And he's kept the decanters, but of course, all the alcohol's gone out of them since then. I just always wonder, well, that probably didn't never last more than a month. But I just always wondered about that. I think it takes a long time. It's like crystal. When you get crystal, they talk about lead content in crystal.
Mhm.
If you longer you let it sit, the worse it is. If you pour it and you drink it in a relatively short period of time, the transfer is just not there. You just don't want to let especially higher proof dwell in the decanters.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anybody saying that they found lead in or a high enough trace of lead in one of those decanters after they've drank it.
Right.
So, I mean, I know it's an issue and all that, but I'd be more worried about like the cork rotting out or something like that and getting some mold or that in it.
That's what I was afraid of with the other one. It was so loose that I thought for sure that maybe it was just gonna go bad or whatever and be really funky. But fortunately, it wasn't. But exactly like the cork will just blow out. It's so dry rotted or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
that'd be my bigger fear. I'd be afraid I'm gonna get like some black mold or something like that on my whiskey, and not even realize that I'm drinking it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. All right. What does Steve say? Currently just got some Buffalo Trace. We got some 1933 or so Beam lined up next. Holy cow. All right. So that's an old one, I would say. So, which is kind of cool because when you start thinking about 1993, I thought it said 1933. Okay. All right. I was going to say that was an old one, but all right. What else do we have? Yeah. 93. Thanks. Do you guys have any, what is this? YW says, do you guys have any single barrel? Oh, that's a must buy. Any single barrels that are a must buy? Oh, Bowman. Do you think Bowman single barrel?
I've ever got a Bowman single barrel here in Kansas. I don't think I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I haven't seen one here in St. Louis either. There's a bunch of single barrels to buy.
I think they do a lot more of their stuff in terms of distribution. Is a lot on the East Coast, I believe. So maybe there's more of a chance of getting a single barrel out there. But all right, I forgot to plug my laptop in. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves real quick.
We'll just hold it down for you, Scott, right now.
Yeah, that was bad. I knew once my computer turned color.
When it gives that little jump to a little slight fade, you're going, what? Oh no.
You got it.
What did I do?
I'm slowly watching my phone die here. I'm at like 10%, and when I got on, it was like 46%. So I'm not going to last very long.
I'm on my desktop today, so I'm good to go.
All right, we're back. I had to make a toilet paper run there real quick, so apologize. Yeah, this will.
I just saw something that said that when the CDC comes through and looks at all of our bodies, we're going to have the cleanest asses out of anybody, but we'll all be dead of coronavirus anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's it's been unbelievable. I mean, the run, like we were talking with Perry and Robert before. I mean, it's just been so crazy that run, like last night and this morning, and like my wife, God bless her, she's a bit of a worrier and panicker, and we were already at the store like 7:00 this morning, like getting food, like the like Armageddon was going to set in, and we were in trouble. So, but
we got an email on Friday or on Thursday saying that we needed to take our laptops home because I teach 4th grade, and just be prepared to start teaching from home. So
yeah, and you're shut down for what, until like the first part of April?
I'm shut down for a week right now, just with spring break, but I don't know what after that is going to happen. They've canceled every single like after school activity and trip and anything like that. So it's pretty crazy right now.
Yeah, which is, I mean, all of that is smart. I mean, I get it, and safety concern is just the not, really wanting or that we should be spreading it to people who have like compromised, immune systems and all of that. So,
All right, hey, I'm gonna have to run because my phone's about to die. But keep it up, guys. I'll be watching kind of throughout the day, and looking forward to it.
Sounds good. Thanks for jumping in for a few minutes.
All right, see you guys.
See you, Kevin. All right. So if anybody else wants to jump in, so all right, Robert, how's everything else going by you? Okay,
it's going pretty good. The buzzing you're going to hear in the background is my wife using the printer. So she's a high school middle school principal here, and they're coming off spring break. She's going to be back to work Monday. In Kansas, I guess it's not. I think
Dickinson County canceled all schools until March 20th.
Okay.
Dickinson County canceled all schools till March 20th. So we had an occasional place.
So, and that's the thing. It seems like, the trickle down or the pressure to close your schools or within districts just becomes tough because other ones in the surrounding areas start to do it. It's like you feel like we better do it just to be kind of responsible. But,
it's a lot of pressure. I think peer pressure amongst the different school districts. And do you want to be the odd person out and then your school district somehow be the one that you don't want to be the poster boy if it does show up in your school?
Yeah.
It didn't close, Then
that's the big thing right there is that, if you don't take those measurements, or measures and something does happen, then you really feel bad and you kind of have an egg on your face that you didn't do something else. So like Dusty says, casinos, they probably will be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that, in the next couple of days, you start to hear more places with these large gatherings are going to just start to close. I mean, so.
But it hasn't damaged my job yet. I'll have to go out, but I work on an oil rig. So there's like 4 people plus me, 3 different shifts.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot of people out there, but
yeah. You're already kind of like self-quarantining from that standpoint. So yeah. And and nowadays, I mean, so many people, work from home that it's probably, a much better thing than it was even, 5 or 10 years ago when not as many people did. So like, I mean, I work from home, my wife does as well, and it's not as much of an impact, but it is what it is. So
I think the impact that I don't know if I'm worried about, but I'm just kind of curious to see is in little town Kansas out there, there's not a lot to be had. Usually there's a dollar store or an old grocery store in some of the little towns. And if they start closing everything down, well, I'm probably going to lose some weight.
Yeah.
Not many places to eat. Things. I'll be going out and getting the corn straight off the stalk.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. I mean, you hope people don't panic like too much and just be smart and understand those types of things. But it is what it is. Like Brian said here, like they're already Illinois casinos closed today. So It is. It's just the pressure is just gonna start to be on just about everybody under these circumstances. So, but all right, what else do we have here?
Somebody, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were in a Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I just had an occasional, every once in a while you just cough. He said, I cough, and he said, I had a lady down the aisle stare at me and start cussing at me from a distance. And he said, cover yourself.
Yeah, you can see that stuff starting to like happen. There was a lady yesterday. It was the same thing at a store. She's like hacking all over the place, and there was another lady in the back that must have saw and said, hey, cover your goddamn mouth. And this lady's hacking all over the place, and people are gonna get all freaked out. All right, so there's this other little small YouTuber just popped in. So if you guys aren't very familiar with this guy, just do yourself a favor and go check out his little channel. I'm sure none of you have heard of it. It's called The Mash and Drum. He's new, so give him a look. So
very, very new.
How's it going, bud?
How you doing? How you guys doing? What's up, Whiskey Scout?
Not much. How you doing?
All right, so Jason, you're up at what time? 3 o'clock Eastern?
No, I'm actually following you. I'm at 2.
Oh, you are? Okay. All right. All right. What are you sipping on there?
I don't know. I figured basically for my live stream, what I'm doing is what happens when you think it's the end of the world. You do everything you can before it ends. So I have a bunch of bottles I haven't opened yet. So I figured I'll open some bottles I haven't gotten to try yet. So why not?
All right, that's a fun one. So
yeah,
you have my wife laughing right over here. She doesn't drink at all. She's laughing.
Yeah.
So under the circumstances, people probably would. Well, you wouldn't have to probably open up anything. You'd be good until the end of the world with whatever you guys have, open already. So
yeah, I have a lot of open stuff. I'd be good probably until at least I'm 70. So
yeah.
Probably
out slowly.
I saw somebody pose that question this morning. Like if you polished off, I think it was a bottle like per week, how long would it take for you to like run out? I mean, it would be, oh my God. I mean, I don't even know. Like how many bottles, Jason, are you up to like what? Do you think you've got 500 or 600?
Yeah, I'm pushing a little over 500 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you do the math, 52 weeks in a year, that's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's a good amount. That's at least 10, 11, 12 years.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of.
I got about 7 years roughly.
Hey, when you think you've got so much whiskey that you can drink a bottle a week for 8 to 10 years. You're either doing it really well or you're one hell of an alcoholic. I'll tell you that. So
yeah, I don't know if I could do some of these bottles in a week, but I would definitely try.
Yeah, drink it. I mean, drinking a bottle a week. That's man, oh man, that'd be a lot.
I have a unique Russell's Reserve single barrel that I got a while back, and I haven't cracked it open yet. It's So this one is from, so generally the single barrels you see nowadays are from Camp Nelson A or Camp Nelson F.
Yep.
You see a couple of A, a couple of D. This is from Rickhouse H.
Really?
Which is an older pick. And I haven't dove into it yet, so gonna try it with you guys. Why not?
Well, no, I appreciate that. I think I'll bust open. This is a 2017 this is the Four Roses limited edition barrel strength. So what the hell?
What are you drinking, Scout?
I was finishing my Jim Beam double aged, the 8-year, the old 8-year age stated. I think now I will go to Blanton's.
Oh, Blanton's. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't drank enough of this lately, so.
Yeah, that's another one of those whiskeys that people go absolutely ape shit over. So
wow, this is a funky experience in the nose right here. It smells like a dusty turkey a little bit.
So Chad Hawley says he has I have a G that's amazing and funky. All right, here we go. We got another one. Trev, how's it going, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
How are you going to be able to self-control yourself? How are you going to be able to do all of this at one time?
I got the chat pulled up right now. Don't worry.
Get ready. Get ready. What are you sipping on? Jason's got a little a funky Russell's pick. So
I'm just starting with some Old Forester 86 because if this is going all day, I can't jump into some high proof stuff yet.
I'm surprised some people haven't started with a little bit of Basil Hayden's. Let's start with a good old 80 proofer or something.
I actually don't have a Basil Hayden's.
No, I bet most people don't have it.
I had, but it's long gone. I don't know.
So Jason, how's the Russells? Have you tried it yet, or?
No, I'm still letting it open up. This is a very oaky, funky. It's like woodsy. I get a lot of like different types of wood notes on it, which is really interesting to go along with the typical butterscotch, cinnamon. This is probably one of the more almond forward wild turkeys I've had.
Really?
I hate to say like marzipan, but it's like that sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is funky.
I bet after it settles, after about a week or two, it's going to be.
Yeah.
My experience is always after about a week or two, they shine.
Man, I'll tell you what, that's
so good.
That's exactly it. I mean, these higher proof whiskeys, I mean, it is like you may as well, when you get it, crack it open, let it sit for a couple weeks, try it right away, see what it's like. But they do, and they really a lot of times open up really, really well. So
yeah. I also got this bottle. I'm gonna save this for my stream. This is I don't know if you guys had a lot from Woodinville.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So they are so cool. I guess I reviewed them like a week back, and I tagged them. They saw the review, and they just sent me this bottle. I got it today, like as a thank you.
Oh wow!
Cool.
So
Which one is that? Which one is that?
Bourbon. This is their 90 proof bourbon that's finished in port.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, port cask. So
I was gonna say it looks super dark. So
yeah, I'm excited to try that on the stream coming up at 2. So a little preview.
Cool.
So Scott, what are you drinking? The Four Roses, you said?
Yeah, so I got a little bit of the 2017 LE. So I mean, Four Roses for me, it's just one of those things that kind of hits my profile: sweet, spicy, floral. Just a great profile. I love what Four Roses does.
So Trev, since you've won a good amount of samples,
yeah,
on my channel and others, what's been one of the standouts that you've had?
Oh goodness. So I have so many from you. I don't know.
Yeah, you were on a hot streak for like 3 weeks.
You were winning everything.
That the William LaRue Weller is just my most favorite thing I might have ever had.
Yeah, that thing's pretty ridiculous. Yeah.
I would say the one that I was kind of. So you sent me that Baker's 13, and I tried it side by side with my regular Baker's.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. I wouldn't say disappointing in the fact of it was bad, but releasing something that much higher, what is it, like $100 for a bottle of that stuff?
Well, I mean, it's usually where it was more than that. People were upcharging it a good amount. So
it disappointed me in the fact of I liked the regular Baker's for half the price of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I that was one of my disappointing whiskeys of the year. There's a lot of people that liked it. I'm like, why? There wasn't really much to it. Honestly, I just didn't find it that amazing. I've had plenty of Knob Creek single barrels that were way better than that.
Way better.
Way better.
Man, that's my. I still like when people ask, like, as far as high proof value bourbons. I mean, it's really hard to not recommend Knob Creek. I mean, it's just for what you get. It's got good age on it a lot of times. I mean, I think you have to understand the people that are doing the picks and like maybe a little bit about their profile, whether they like something that's oaky or sweet or whatever it may be. But
yeah,
I've got one that's super like chocolatey, creamy, then one that's a little heavier on oak. So you got to kind of understand that. But outside of that, I mean, you get between, I don't know, maybe 12 and 15-year-old, bourbon single barrel for, I don't know what, 45, 50 bucks. It's pretty tough to beat that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just found another 15-year-old Knob Creek pick from my store in New York. I'm like, man, and now that they're releasing a Knob Creek 15, for as a special release, I'm wondering if we're going to see less of the 15-year picks. The only thing though is the 15-year release that they're doing is only 100 proof. So I know it's not a ton lower than the usual 120, but you're going to get some more juice out of it. So, and if they're charging, and that's the conundrum. They're out. So Scott, you reviewed the 12-year, which I thought was a good bourbon.
It was. Now here would be my question: is that, like, you can see where that's going? Like, if it's now 15 years old, like at 100 proof, which is what this is, is it now just going to be this, but just heavier oak? You know, I mean,
well, yeah, you know, but it's almost like you're devaluing. Well, you're not devaluing. You might be showing more value in the Knob Creek single barrels, because if you're releasing a 15-year at 100 proof so that 12-year was what, 65, 70
Yeah,
bucks?
when I got it, I bought it at the distillery. It was like with tax, like 67 bucks at the time.
Yeah, and it's really good. So what, the 15-year at 100 proof is going to be what, you think? 85, maybe 90?
It could be. It could be right. It could
maybe 100 100 even.
Yeah, maybe.
And then you could still get a Knob Creek single barrel pick that's 12 years or higher, and it's still 45 bucks, and it's higher proof.
But
so
I have seen the Knob Creek single barrel picks. I've got one. It's only a 9-year. It's very woody. It's lacking the caramel sweetness. But I agree with you. I mean, I've got 6 of them up there, and all of them are just so much better than your average.
They really are. Well, John Belushi says 59 in Maine, so 60 bucks. I can see that. I mean, I mean, it's a great, like, Knob Creek. I mean, it seems to somehow still just kind of fly under the radar. I mean, even if they bring back the standard, 9-year age stated bourbon, that's still a good age on a bourbon. I mean, that's a really nice bourbon. So,
right. I seen the 12 2 days ago when I was out there that you had, Scott, that you guys was talking about, but I thought it was $50 they had on it, and you paid how much at the distillery?
I think mine with tax was 67 bucks. I actually was there the day they were putting it out on the shelf, and I had never seen or heard anything about it. And I said, well, what the hell is that? I'll take a bottle of it. I didn't even know what it cost, but I was a little surprised when he said how much it was, just knowing like what the cost of a single barrel store pick was. But, again, I was at the distillery, and they've kind of got you.
Oh, there. Yeah. I mean, when I went to George Dickel, they have that 17 there and the 375. It cost me $150. I get down there, and Kyle's going, well, you could have bought it cheaper, such and such place. Like, I'm at the distillery. You're in the moment, you like.
Yeah. Jeffrey Racks, I see a 13+ year Knob Creek single barrel, I buy it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's in a lot of them, like almost all of them now, you'll see like 12 years is like a young one. They're all between 13 and 15 years old now, it seems like. Mm-hmm. So some really good ones. So, I mean, in terms of value, it's really hard to beat that. So yeah, that'll be really interesting to see how and what the profile becomes on that Beam 15. So that'll be interesting.
Well, Modern Thirst has a good question. Why are the Jim Beam products that don't say Jim Beam on the label so much better than the ones that do?
Yeah.
What do they call it? Their something collection.
That small batch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
that's really the differentiator. Is they called Knob Creek, Baker's, Basil Hayden, Booker's. That's their small batch collection. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's how they kind of differentiated from the regular Jim Beam labels. I mean, there's a lot of Jim Beam labels.
Yeah.
Right. You could say the same thing for Wild Turkey. The Russell Reserve you got there, it doesn't really have Wild Turkey Road on it anywhere, but it's a much better product than what you're going to get.
Listen, it's all marketing. to drive to different types of consumers. That's really all it is.
Well, I mean, hey, let's be honest. Like, exactly. I agree to that. It was probably like the Jack Daniels perception for so long that everyone thought of Old Number 7 as a mixer, and who was going to drink that neat? Nobody, for the most part. But now you've got the single barrels and the single barrel proof, which are, again, I mean, you want to talk about value for $60-65. I mean, it's on par and maybe as good, if not better, than a lot of the Elijah Craig barrel proofs. I mean, hey, now today's day and age, $60-65. I mean, that's not, it's not a whole lot considering what you're getting for it,
And it goes back to the size of the distillery too. When you look at Jim Beam and Jack Daniels both, after going to Jack Daniels and you drive out of that valley, and I mean, it's just warehouse after warehouse after warehouse out there. They have such a large selection of barrels, 90% of the distilleries just don't have access to. Yeah. So they can keep that price down where other distilleries are going to struggle to kind of do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Brown-Forman right now, I mean, with what they've got going on, I mean, they're kind of killing it right now. So, they got those.
I always laugh because when I'm online, like here in Ohio, when I'm online, like waiting for like the allocated bourbons to come in, the allocated whiskeys, there's always this one dude who just walks into the store. He picks up a gallon of Jim Beam White Label, pays his $13, and he's out the door. He's probably as happy as shit.
Well, and he looks at everybody standing in line. He's like, "What a bunch of dipshits!"
Yeah. And we're online, Oh, I hope Eagle Rare comes in today.
He doesn't give two shits about all you idiots standing in line. He's like, "I'm going for Beam White Label, fuckers."
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's it. But yeah, I give him credit that he's not like hitting up a gallon of like Kessler or something like that. So he is stepping it up a bit.
Well, I don't know about your friends outside of here, but you guys, when I'm on here, drink much better stuff. Most of my friends are White Label, Four Roses, Yellow Label. I mean, these are, and that's your big sellers. I mean, they look at me when I say, "Oh, I spent $70 for that," or something like that, and they just get all cross-eyed.
Well, and hey, at the end of the day, I mean, as much as we kind of make fun of it, I mean, it's still like decent bourbon. Yeah, do we want to sit on it? Probably not all the time, but I mean, it's really still, I mean, pretty good stuff, So
at my daughter's graduation, when I broke out that Joseph Magnus cigar blend.
Oh yeah.
People there had never even seen a $150 bottle of whiskey.
Yeah. I mean, well, and to hit them with that stuff, I mean, that's probably something that their palates never experienced a day in their life. I mean, that'll challenge, I mean, just about anybody for the most part. So
yeah, it was funny. The one lady,
Scotty, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to go get set up on my stream. So,
all right. Yeah. For everybody. Yeah. So thanks for jumping on. For everybody, after I'm done here in a few minutes, head over to Jason's channel. He'll be going at 2 Eastern.
Yeah. Thanks for kicking it off though, bud. I'll drop a link, probably mine too, if anyone wants to join. So
yep, that's fine. Yeah. Go ahead and drop that in there. That's perfectly fine.
See you in a few.
See ya.
See you then.
Yeah. So Trev, what else is up? What's going on with you?
Oh, just quarantining myself.
So how are things in your area? Are people still kind of crazy or what?
So I'm in Arkansas, and we had, for the longest time, we were like the one state or one of the few states that didn't have any. So everything's fine and dandy. One person gets it, and it just mass hysteria.
Yep.
I work in a orthopedic clinic behind a hospital, and we're checking people's temperatures as they walk in the building, and if you have even a slight fever, we just turn you away. Like,
really?
Reschedule your appointment.
Oh wow.
Really? Wow.
So
okay. That's
and I think in school closings, they're waiting for a confirmed case in the county. And if a case happens in your county, the whole county school district shuts down. So
well, that's the way it is here. Like we've got basically like our governor already has like declared like a state of emergency. So they've shut everything down here school wise until I think like April 6th, I believe. So they're not taking chances. We've got I think now I'm in Wisconsin, and I think it's maybe upwards now of like around 10 cases. So they're not taking really any chances, and I guess rightfully so. It's not like we were talking before. It's not us who are healthy that we need to be concerned. It's if we do have it and spread it on to somebody who's got a poor immune system. And I mean, you hear the people who are dying are unfortunately the elderly people,
And that it's kind of goes, it's like this with everything, really. I think someone with a bad immune system, getting the flu is bad for them.
Yeah.
I think everyone should take it seriously. I think the amount of hysteria that's going on is a little much, like clearing the shelves of toilet paper. I mean, that's just why, it's and clearing the shelves of hand sanitizer and everything. I think people don't realize other people have to wash their hands too. Yeah. So you don't get it. Like, it doesn't matter how clean your hands are; theirs have to be clean too.
Exactly. So, I think it goes back to when they made there was obviously the H1N1 and all that was a big issue, but I think in our like modern day, like everybody in our age bracket, we've never really never experienced anything like this where there's been this much of like a quarantine type of thing, So it's a little bit of a different experience for all of us. And I think that it becomes like that trickle down effect. You see like one person running to the shitter aisle and they're like trying to snatch it all up. And then if people are like, well, what's that guy running there for?
Yeah.
I better
it's
go.
The mob mentality.
Yeah,
the mob
exactly.
mentality.
Yep.
You see one person do it and you're kind of, well, what's he doing? I got to do it.
Yep.
Or you'll see on Facebook, just people sharing stuff about, the toilet paper aisles are, there's no more toilet paper. So people start thinking, well, man, I'm running low. I need to go get mine right now too before it's all gone. And it's
this is a good one. So I don't know who's like running Modern Thirst today or whatever, but Trev sounds like a man down to his last roll of triple ply.
Yeah, it's not good, guys. It's not good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to just stay home and hop in the shower every time I go to the bathroom.
Well, I've already seen everybody's probably seen on like Facebook and stuff where they're like post a picture of toilet paper, like in trade for like Pappy 15 or something. And of course all that stuff is coming, so
all those little in toilet bidets they offer now. The sales is going to go out of the roof after this is over.
Oh, so it's Bill running Modern Thirst. So, all right. If anybody hasn't jumped on the Foregate bandwagon yet, you might want to do it. So they're producing some excellent whiskeys, and I think they've gotten, Bill, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you've got the rum and cognac finished bourbon coming out very soon. I think so. You can let me know, but. All right, so I think we're pretty close to. I think in 5 minutes, Jason's going on. So I don't know if he posted a link or not. But
here, I got it.
All right. So Jason's up next, and then I think iWhiskey She Wines will be following them, and then Matt from ADHD Whiskey will. So it's going to be I think a full day. I mean, hey, a lot of us don't have much going on, unfortunately, and it is what it is. And Perry put a fun thing together of a bunch of kind of whiskey tube channels, and I think it'll be a good day. So go check out Jason's stuff coming. So guys, thanks for jumping on for a little while and kind of just shooting the shit and having a good day. But more importantly, stay safe. Hopefully you guys are doing that. So everybody in the chat, thanks for joining. Make sure to go check out Jason's stuff. Keep following everybody throughout the day, and we'll have a good rest of your day. So with that being said, cheers, guys. Thanks for jumping in.
Thank you.
We'll see everybody in the chat with the other streams.
Okay.
See you guys.
See you.
Wash your hands, everyone.
Wash your hands, everyone.